The Punisher.
Yes!
Gonna be in
Yes!
Daredevil 2.
Yes!
Something tells me Dave's excited.
Yes! I love the Punisher so much, and they've never had a really good live-action version of him, and John Bernthal is amazing, and the Daredevil's amazing, and the fact that these two characters are always in comic books together is amazing. This is the perfect fit. I'm so happy! Whew, that was good.
Okay.
All right, I'm set.
So just to unpack that a little bit more.
Yes.
What happened is John Bernthal, whom you know from The Walking Dead,
Yes.
mostly, and a handful of other things, because he's
Yeah.
real good at stuff. He's going to be playing the Punisher in Season 2 of Daredevil. Now,
Yes.
this is real cool for a variety of reasons.
Yes.
One, we like the Punisher.
Oh, the Punisher is amazing, and I don't think anyone's put his stamp on it yet. I mean, Tom Jane has tried, but honestly, all those movies kind of sucked.
Well, that was my number 2.
Nice.
Number 2.
I'm psychic.
We haven't had a good Punisher on screen yet. Not
Yes.
even close. Dolph Lundgren got closest. And
yeah,
that should
it's
tell you
true.
something.
It really is
know?
the best of the three.
Season 1 of Daredevil,
Yes.
I think we all really liked.
Oh, amazing. Totally amazing. I mean, it is so dark, and it's so R-rated in the violence.
Tonally, it meshes really well with the Punisher.
Yes, 100%. But on top of that, I'm just going to take over. Can I do 4?
I want you to do...
In 4! 4!
Is
So
that,
much.
I think we might have skipped 3. Look,
3,
point is,
4.
let's talk
Hey,
about...
this is important.
Numbering system means very little when we have such exciting news.
Exactly. They are so connected in the comic book universe. You know, the Punisher came out in the late 60s, and he was popular, but he really became super popular in the early 80s thanks to Frank Miller because he kept on showing up in Daredevil comic books, and they kept on fighting, and, you know, Daredevil, they kept on basically trying to kill each other all the time. And there's sort of like this great comic book odd couple, sort of like how Arrow and Green Lantern were that way, because Daredevil is more of a liberal compared to Frank Castle, who just wants to kill everyone who's bad. And so I think that, you know, they're going to play off this a lot in this new series of Daredevil. I think it's a perfect opportunity, you know, because Marvel didn't own the Punisher for a long time.
Right.
They didn't get the rights back until, what, 2011, I think?
Yeah, and they kind of snuck away with him in the middle of the night, too. Like, nobody realized that they had Punisher back.
But yeah, the fact that, like, how these guys are tied in the comic books, and how I think Daredevil in many ways was close to the comic books, the Netflix series, I think I'm really excited about seeing them sort of fight it out.
Yeah. My only concern with this, and building off of what you're talking about with how they, you know, there's a synopsis that says the Punisher wants to clean up the streets.
Hell's Kitchen, yeah.
He wants to clean up Hell's Kitchen no matter how, no matter what he has to do, he's willing to do anything to clean up Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah.
Which is the same thing that Daredevil wants to do,
Right.
just in a different way.
Yeah.
Which, that's the same synopsis from the first season of Daredevil.
Right.
Kingpin was wanting to clean up
Right.
Hell's Kitchen just in a different way. So hopefully there's some new ground that they're... I mean, obviously the dynamic between Daredevil and Punisher is going to be completely different than Daredevil and Kingpin, because obviously Kingpin and Punisher are very different characters. But hopefully they find some new ground to cover in terms of the hero's dilemma of how far do you go, and then there's this other guy who is going farther than you ever thought you would go.
Yeah, I mean, I think though the main difference, of course, is the Kingpin, for all of his posturing, at the end of the day, they're still stealing kids off the streets and selling them as slaves. You know,
he's still straight up evil.
Ultimately evil,
Yeah.
yeah. And the Daredevil and Punisher, of course, is all about his family was killed by gangsters, and he's going to get revenge for that. And I think that, you know, that is how they both have common goals. It's just that the Punisher is just like, let's just wipe them all out. Also, think about 2016 is going to be the year of superheroes fighting one another. Think about it. We have Batman versus Superman, right? Civil War.
Which is honestly my concern 1A.
Yeah.
It's like we're getting so many of these things.
Yeah.
Like these heroes and these anti-heroes and these people that we know and we love, and they're all kicking each other's ass for a little while because I guess we're out of villains.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what kind of ground the Punisher allows Daredevil as a character to cover.
This is more of a surprise, I think. I think everyone was expecting Bullseye. There were some rumors about Jason Statham walking away from Bullseye, which, you know, who knows if that ever happened. Of course, Elektra, everyone's waiting for. But I think the Punisher is one of those that a lot of us hoped, but weren't expecting.
I'm glad they're doing it this way because there was a lot of noise about Punisher needs to get his own Netflix series, especially after how dark Daredevil was. They're like, oh, this would be perfect for the Punisher, and they're absolutely right.
Yeah.
So tacking him on to Daredevil Season 2, it's one of these situations where it takes some pressure off of the character of Daredevil to carry the series.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's sort of... my other concern is it's going to take away... We're not going to get as much Daredevil as a character because we're introducing more Punisher as a character. Which, hey, not a bad problem to have.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not complaining about it. It's going to be rad. Hopefully we get a really good version of Punisher on screen finally.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
That I think is going to be the big win of this thing. If Daredevil gets pushed to the side for the second season of his Netflix show, okay, whatever. If that's the cost of getting a good Punisher on screen, I think we can take it.
I agree, but I also think they did a really good job in Daredevil. Like, they had that one episode completely dedicated to the Kingpin. You know, I think they might have an episode completely dedicated to the Punisher, but I think ultimately the second season or second movie of any superhero thing is their crisis of faith, is like whether or not I really want to be a superhero anymore. And I think the Punisher is going to come in and he's like, I gotta be here because this dude is annihilating everybody and shooting up if I'm not here, then these guys are going to take over. They're basically villains.
Yeah, and at the same time, that was some similar stuff from the first season.
I
mean, there's...
But to a point, though, right?
Yes, to the point where it happened. Daredevil as a character, his relationship to what these other characters represent.
Yes.
I think as a character, the questions he's dealing with and what he's having to go through are going to be similar.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, okay, I don't disagree with that, but I also think this is a great testing ground because I think they do want to use the Punisher, and they keep on losing money on these R-rated movies, so now maybe this will be how they sort of had the Flash start off an Arrow, even though they knew they were going to make a Flash show. Well,
look, if the Netflix universe is yet another universe that Marvel can just dominate, then good for them. What I think is going to be really exciting is by the time we get to the Defenders, to have the Punisher around during the Defenders. During the big team up, I think is going to be nothing but good. I don't see how any of these people are going to avoid any of the other series because they're all in like a 2 square mile radius.
It's true.
You know, they're all in Hell's Kitchen. So, in the meantime, very exciting stuff. Crossing our fingers for a really cool on-screen Punisher. Thank you in advance, John Barenthal, for that. All right, everybody, let us know what you think about the Punisher. How excited are you for the Punisher and the Daredevil teaming up, fighting each other? Both?
They're definitely going to fight.
A little bit of both. They're definitely going to fight. Let us know what you think about it in the comments down below. Make sure to click like and subscribe. Stick around for more CineFix movie news on CineFix Now.